And welcome, Atlas Reactor fans, to yet another week of the PPL. This is now week 4 of season 2 we've got going on, and I am Restart, and with me today is Lothens. How you doing, Lothens?
Hello, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How are you, sir?
Fantastic. We've got a few new teams today. We've got some exciting rematches. We've got a whole lot to keep your attention as we enter this back half of Season 2. These teams are scrambling to get the points they need to qualify for the top 6 spots to enter that $2,500 tournament. There are teams just starting now, so they have their work cut out for them if they want to get in. What do you put their chances at right now, Lothens?
Between a rock and a hard place, I would say probably. But, speaking of the matches we have today, man, we got a brand new team. You just brought it up. Oralgami no Jitsu. And they're going to be playing a couple of times on stream here. Once in round number 1 versus Voltaic Gaming. Round number 2, they make a reappearance versus Outplayed. And then, of course, round number 3, the other brand new team that we haven't seen yet, Not 100, makes a showing versus Outplayed. So these guys are going to have their hands full with these veteran teams.
Definitely have their work cut out for them. Voltaic right now is 8-4 with 11 league points, and Outplayed is 9-3 with 13 league points. Definitely among the top tier, definitely among the favorites right now to make it into that final tournament. Now, not to say that it isn't great to join now, because this is great experience. This league works completely different from the normal gameplay in terms of you have banning, you have picking, so it's great to get that experience in now and prepare for Season 3, as that will be coming shortly after the next tournament. You'll have the remaining weeks, you'll have a week off, you'll have your tournament, and then you'll have a little time before Season 3 kicks up. There'll be more announcements then. But right now,
yeah.
Go ahead.
It's going to get crazy because we're past the midway point now. So teams are going to start scrambling as best they can for all the points they can get their hands on, leading toward that tournament. Because like he just said, only the top 6 teams get in and get a shot at that huge prize pool.
And rosters are locked after you play your first game after Season 3. So as these teams are all locking in their rosters with this game right now. Some of them with only 4 players, although most of the established teams have went up to 6 for this week just to give themselves options. The other big change I want to touch on, though, is the new spawn system. Now, that's in even though it hasn't had a week for everybody to play with it. And that's going to be some interesting decisions teams have to deal with. What do you think, Lothens?
I mean, it's definitely going to change the strategy, because you can now, you have the one turn to pick where you want to go to respawn at, and it's all the way around the whole map, so you can kind of get some strategy in there. Then you have another turn where you get a full movement out of your portal. So, I mean, what I've been liking to do is pick up those haste buffs right as I spawn. I'll put my portal right next to a haste buff, run right through it, and get that free buff on the way out. So we'll have to see what these established teams. Obviously, these guys are a little bit better than I am at strategy. So hopefully, they're going to show us something cool with that respawn system.
Yeah, for those of you that aren't perfectly familiar with it, it's when you die, the turn afterwards, you get to place a portal somewhere that's not near a visible enemy, and there's a limited number of spots you can place it, and then the turn afterwards, you spawn in the movement phase and get a full move from there that you selected during the decision phase. So that means traps stocks go up in value, and also because you get that full move and you can't attack that first turn, that means that it really changes the dynamic a lot between these smaller maps and these bigger maps. You could go anywhere on a smaller map if you spawn somewhere close to the center, whereas in the bigger maps, you're pretty limited on the area you pick. There's a lot of options to consider, and I'm anxious to see how these teams get it going on. Also, Orion is available to be picked this week, and I think we're going to see him in at least one game. There's been a lot of teams doing a lot of experimentation with him.
Well, I know tomorrow we're going to see at least one game of Orion, just about guaranteed, because that's when we're going to see some cookie cutters action, and Remedy has basically promised he's going to be pulling out that Orion play. He's been practicing it almost nonstop the last couple of weeks, so really looking forward to that. And it changes. It's another dynamic change in the game, just like the respawn system. Orion brings a whole different set of skills to the playing field that nobody else even comes close to having. He's a completely different play style, and I mean, you kind of you want to be aggressive, but you don't at the same time because you're not a tank, you're not a frontliner, but you want to take that little bit of damage every once in a while to get your energy gains. So it's going to be really interesting for sure.
You're definitely going to shake up some of the experienced teams who have done well with more traditional freelancers. So how are we doing with these teams right now? Are we getting close to everybody ready?
I mean, they said that they are ready, so I think we can go ahead and let them know they can fire away on that draft.
All right. We'll pull this up, and they'll be ready to fire. And we'll get you guys into, this is going to be game 1 of week 4, the Saturday games. We've got Oralgami versus Voltaic. Voltaic, the favorites, coming in with a lot of points, but Oralgami, unknown newcomers, could be the best in the business or could be learning. We'll see in this first matchup as they start their draft.
So what do we think we're going to see here? I mean, obviously Voltaic has a little bit of a history in the league so far. 3 weeks worth of stats we can look at.
But it is now, correct me if I'm wrong, Oralgami is the home team here. So they get to pick the first map. So we're not necessarily going to be able to predict these common strategies of it's a new team, let's go on Flyway and kind of feel them out a little bit. And Origami might be counting on that. They might have watched these team replays and say, we don't want to give them time to feel us out. If I was Origami, I would expect a smaller map and a very quick start to just throw the other team entirely off. You don't know who we are, we know who you are. Let's use it to our advantage, blitz game 1. That's what I'm hoping to see.
Yeah, the map's always a big question mark. I haven't been tracking that at all. One thing that I have been tracking, though, and if these guys know anything about Atlas Reactor, they probably know generally the same thing that I do as far as which freelancers are the most powerful. And the most popular freelancers, as far as firepowers go, far and away is Celeste. So I would definitely expect to see a Celeste pickup here in this matchup for somebody. If we don't, I would be shocked. She's picked up 91.6% of the time that she is available by one of the two teams in the draft phase. Asana's up there at 90%. I would expect to see an Asana pickup. So we can kind of get some tendencies here by the teams based off the most popular picks. We can just about assume there's going to be a Celeste and an Asana unless something crazy happens.
The very popular champions, I mean, Gray is up there as well in the pick ban charts, and probably just a little bit worse because of their ban so much often on those percentages. But definitely there are some favorites. Lockwood as well, you'd expect to see. I'm interested to see some other compositions come out too. You might see that Helio Gremolitions combo that works so well. I'd love to see the new pup if somebody has mastered that. There's a lot of interesting things teams could do to throw off their opponents here instead of just trying to play straight and hope to outplay their opponents, as there are a lot of new matchups this week.
Yeah, with all the balance changes, I think teams and players are still trying to feel out who they like the most. You know, I know a lot of people they love to play L because she's really, really fun, but they don't think she's strong enough to bring into the PPL. But then again, we may be shocked here and she's going to have this huge resurgence. Once people start to figure her out a little bit, maybe they decide, hey, she's not that bad after all. She can be good as well as fun.
All right, so let's make sure everybody's getting these, everything working for them. Lothans, can you see this draft page, or are we going to have to go ahead and see if it's working? Okay, so the draft is done. Apparently only the players can see the draft right now.
Interesting. That's no good.
All right, well, we're going to trust that they got it correct. We're going to ask them to please make sure we screenshot it. And we'll get that over to our director team to make sure that we can get you guys an awesome visual experience next game. And get it done. Unfortunately, we don't have the... We don't have the ability to pull up that draft right now, but we do see it looks like they are set into their into their teams. So we have Dark Crow, Arctic, Kodo, and Horrifier. That's going to be Voltaic Gaming. They have Titus as their frontliner, Aurora as their support, and they're going to go ahead and have Nyx and Gray as their firepowers.
Yeah, and on the other side, we've got that Oralgami no Jitsu team. We've got Carowin playing the Asana frontliner. We've got Murdoch, the team captain, over with Blackburn. We've got Stoiker. That's going to be Gremolitions. And on Helio is going to be Strange Mango, the support player, looks like. So I kind of like Voltaic's draft a little bit better. They've got the standard, plus the Titus in there. They've got that really powerful Aurora with all the knockbacks and and of course the Titus to lock people down and weaken in a big AoE. Straight line, long distance firepowers to kind of stay out of the fray. On the other side, you've got super long distance guy of Grimo, but with the kind of the mid-range Blackburn firepower in there as well. So he's going to have to play pretty safe, but they do have the Helio. They do have that Asana, so no big surprise there. But we don't see the Celeste like I was predicting, so shame on me.
All right. And, Celeste was banned, actually. Lockwood and Celeste being the bans. So, not being picked because she was banned. So we do have Flyway Freighter going ahead in our first matchup. And we'll get that right to you guys as soon as the game starts. We've got about 20 seconds left to select mods and catalysts.
So in that 20 seconds, guys, about 10 seconds now, who do you at home think is going to pull this one out? Are the new team, Oralgami no Jitsu, going to pull out the shocker here and take down one of the top teams in the league so far with Voltaic? Or are Voltaic going to stay on their win streak and just, give it to the new team, man? Just hand it to them.
I don't know. We'll see. Are they the real deal? It's going to come up soon. We have Voltaic versus the new team Oralgami. If you guys are big Voltaic fans, make some noise in chat. If you are voting with the new team Oralgami, if you think that they are going to take one down, then go ahead and let us know that as well. And let's see who's right. Make your predictions in chat now. We want to see them so that you guys can be held accountable at the end of this game.
Absolutely. And if anybody's watching for the first or second time, maybe you don't really understand how this works. Teams play in rounds during the season. They play 2 matches per round, and then points are distributed based on the results. So if they split the games, Team A wins 1, Team B wins 1, they each get 1 point. If Team A wins both games, they get 3 points for that round, and the other team, of course, gets 0, and vice versa as well. So that's how that's going to work.
All right, so both teams taking a pretty cautious start, generally pretty common in the PPL. Nobody really wants to expose themselves turn 1, and with the extra vision from Horrifier's drone and the mines that come out of Gremolitions, they're pretty fine sitting back and letting their prep do their work, but it looks like both teams are taking the same side.
Yeah, we're going to have one of those good old-fashioned slobber knockers that Pepper Titan loves right over there at the bottom side of the map from my perspective there. I don't know if you've swung it around yet, but I'd love to have a compass in this game somewhere. That'd be nice. But looks like they're going to slam right into each other. But perhaps Oralgami isn't spotted yet. I don't think they are.
Well, looking at the vision, only the frontliner from both teams are spotted. They know where Carowin is, and they know where Kodo is. Nobody else at this point.
Yeah, I see that they have the last known on Carowin on the Asana, but they don't know exactly where he could be. I mean, it's got to be around there somewhere because I don't see him anywhere else.
So starting out, a big stim from Murdoch. They're expecting some damage. Kodo's going to go invisible and try and go around the... Arctic Monkey's going to go invisible around the back. Kodo throws a double knife, gets 2 people in the bush. That's got to feel good. It does look like Murdoch's stimmed attack does a big 45. Carowin swiping as well. And Strange Mango going to go ahead and do a lot of damage to Kodo with only a little bit of healing to help that out. The piercing shot from Arctic Monkey follows the dagger and pierces it on both Carowin and on Stoiker.
Yeah, so a great little move there. Even though they didn't know exactly where they were, they got the double pop on the dirty fighting from Titus. So that was an amazing play. Good for them because Titus took way too much damage that turn. They needed that to kind of balance out the damage per team there. Only Kodo is low for Voltaic though, so that's got to feel nice. He does have, of course, that dash ready. So here we go.
Shields coming out onto Karen, who is in the front and most visible to the enemy team. They're also going to go ahead and throw that black hole, prepping for next turn. Dash is still up for Karen, so they'll be able to put that where they want. Kodo dashes in just to slow down the enemy team, and Arctic Monkey makes it to throwing directly on Strange Mango. No escapes on that support, so they're going to hurt him as much as possible. Mine's not able to hit anybody, but will go down. A spray shot happens as Darkrow is actually rooted in place, so Karen may be looking for that one. Again, a big hit with the primary 3 people will help. Karen not able to go to where they want, but does have dash and black hole.
Yeah, now Kodo on the Titus is in a bad situation here. Is kind of backed up, has Darkrow Pinoy back there with the Aurora to kind of help out a little bit, but that is a ton of damage that's about to hit that Titus, and there's not much he can do about it unless he wants to waste that Catadash turn 5, and that would be devastating for sure. So I would anticipate him taking so much damage here, he's got to just get out next turn.
Looks like a mighty shot coming out from Stoecker. Kodo's going to go ahead and weaken most of the enemy team. Horrify are going to do that as well. Not sure they wanted to combo like that. There is a Paralyzer coming out on Karen, but Karen's going to dash over into the middle, getting both Arctic and Horrifier in the black hole. Minefield coming out from Stoecker to make sure they're safe. A nice bomb from Murdoch will hit Horrifier as Strange Mango continues to focus Kodo, but they're doing just fine in the middle, swinging their giant sword. Arctic Monkey, that big pierced might shot coming in, doing so much damage, and Horrifier adding just a little bit, so much combination damage from them at this point. But with the knockback and with Stoecker hitting them as well, Horrifier goes for a ride, but Arctic Monkey, wisely using the adrenaline, is unstoppable, gets to go where they want.
Yeah, what a play. What a turn of events from Voltaic. They completely switched their focus, threw me off. Looked like they threw Oralgami off as well. They went for the squishy ones way in the back there with Carowin with that black hole on his head. And Titus didn't take that much damage at all. In fact, Murloc on Blackburn is close to death now.
And massive shields and Turtle Tech going down on Murdoch. They're not going to waste that Catalyst this early. Arctic Monkey going to try and cut off any retreating, so they're going to sandwich the enemy team in here. Same idea coming out of Strange Mango as they throw the shield down to make sure Aurora can't come in and continue to heal. A dash into the back by Horrifier, and Stoecker gets hit as well as the rest of the team by this Rio drone. They're going to try and predict the movement of Nyx, and it seems like they have it pretty well. Karen's not going to hit thanks to the dashes out. Kodo taking a swing at the health buff, but that's long gone as he continues to chase.
I don't really like what they did with Murdoch there. I know anticipating if he got hit by anything, he would have died. So I understand the shields, but he used Turtle Tech. They used Strange Mango's Helio shield on him, and he rolled away. So maybe a little bit too much to try to protect him for that turn when he was just using that dash anyway. I would have liked them to hold on to those key abilities for a little bit longer.
Darko did not go through the field, so is able to throw the full heal on Kodo, which will knock back Strange. Bouncing by Stoecker, and Murdoch actually flashes out, continuing to heal. Looks like Arctic Monkey is going to hit who they can in terms of Carefire, and Horrifire able to hit Karen as well. Kodo taking the big swing on Strange Mango together with Rayo. That's going to do some real damage to support, but the bounce from Mango manages to bounce all the way back to Horrifier, taking the first kill of the game. Many more soon to come as brain juices come out everywhere.
Very nice job by the brand new team here, Oralgami no Jitsu, taking that first blood away from Team Voltaic. So now they're looking a little bit sad in the health bar department, but they have taken that first lead of the game. So that puts Voltaic on the back foot here a little bit. Maybe takes down that team morale like they need to do desperately at this point.
Team's ready up for the next turn. Looks like dash from Karen goes around the backside, and Stoica flashes. Neither one going to die. They are going to use the mines to do a little bit more damage to Arctic, but that won't take him down as he takes the shot directly on Murdoch to bring Murdoch to 16. But look at how low Nyx gets. If he runs over a mine, he's dead. Strange Mango and Kodo fighting it out in the corner. I'm betting on the guy with the giant sword myself. Though Strange Mango does find the heal, and Nyx does run over the mine, goes down, as well as Stoico and Karen manage to stay up.
2-0 in favor of Oralgami no Jitsu here over Voltaic. Who would have seen this coming? Again, their health bars don't tell the tale, but they're winning this game right now. This is the crazy thing about Atlas Reactor, guys. Once you die, you come back full health. Now we get to see where their portals are going to show up. I see one at the very other side of the map there for it must be Voltaic. It's red for some reason.
Alright, it looks like healing damage coming down directly on Murdoch in the middle of the map. They'll strike back with their first kill on Voltaic as the spawn comes out around the back. Ultimates coming out from pretty much everybody that was alive the entire time available. When will they be used? Will Kodo dive in? We're going to find out.
That was a smart turn by Kodo. Last turn, the movement phase, he went away from Helio, even though he was getting low, and he went out towards the middle of the map so he could either dash or he could basic attack or throw a dirty fighting dagger at somebody if he needed to, and he ended up catching the Blackburn, which they desperately needed.
Shields go out for Carowin, as well as Strange Mango and Stoaker. It does look like Horfire is throwing out darts to try and stay alive. The ultimate from Strange Mango. They are really piling on these shields. Kodo will weaken them, but will not be able to find a kill there. Carowin able to root Horfire in place, seeing what they can do, but Darkrow manages to go ahead and heal Kodo as well as deal damage to Strange Mango. Horfire throws the ultimate back in. Stoico and Strange Mango aren't going anywhere at this point, especially with Kodo's ultimate over the top of that. That will slow them down, might even prevent them going through, and Stoico's shields are broken. He is down. Horfire gets pushed into the back corner, but a small consolation for that 2-2 second kill.
Strange Mango may have actually broken that Voltaic cage and went through there, but Kodo may have body blocked him from getting into that corner spot. I don't know what the movement was. I wasn't paying that much attention to it. This game is getting off the charts here, guys. 2-2 tied up. Strange Mango is trying to hang on back there, but he is in real big trouble right now.
Now you see.
Arctic Monkey around the back will go ahead and stealth and try and re-engage as Strange Mango continues to pile shield upon shield on top of themselves. Kodo is getting the heal, will get the knockback on that one. A Might coming out from Gray. We'll see what they're going to do this turn as Kodo dashes way into the corner, staying safe, but avoiding giving that knockback. Arctic Monkey going to do the big 50, but not even breaking the shields on Mango with that. Thankfully, Horfire comes through, adds that damage as well as a little bit to Carowin. And now, Strange Mango and Karen out alone in the center of the map.
Yeah, Kodo pulled the Pepper Titan special. He dashed across the map with Titus, missed somebody because they catalysted away. Carowin got out of the way there. And the miting for the Rio damage was Horfire there on the Gray. So that's really confusing there. I don't know what he was thinking, but it seemed like that was a waste.
Skills are sharpened.
Karen's going to go ahead and throw out their own Total Tech, attempting to live through this turn. Kodo's going to say no with that dagger. He's going to try and get this down. A swing from Karen just gets a little bit of damage on Darkrow. Murdoch piles on to bring it to about a third of their life. But Horfire with this range, able to take down Mango Arctic Monkey, confirming the kill. And even Darkrow piling in on that one, as well as triggering the dagger on Carowin. They are doing some massive damage as this black hole whiffs. And that's another kill. Voltaic have come back hard.
Yeah, now the health bars being super low caught up with them in the end. Voltaic started to respawn. They started to get their positioning back, and they finally took the lead, 3-2. So well done there. Carowin still in a world of hurt, but has that Asana ultimate. I expected to come out here just to save his own life, not necessarily to save somebody else this time.
And we'll see as Karen decides to use that ultimate right away, diving over onto Murdoch as well as doing a little bit of damage onto Kodo. Arctic Monkey's going to try and trap this out, but won't get it as the dash goes over the top, hits Kodo around the backside. Horfire taking a shot, won't be able to find anything. Stoker's going to hopefully contribute to this as well. The ultimate comes in multiple on Kodo, Darkrow, and Arctic. They get big damage out, and even Murdoch piles in, bringing Kodo down to just 15 health. and not even really breaking the shield of Murdoch.
Yeah, I see a good opportunity here for them to tie it back up, but I think they're going to trade 1 for 1. No, Carowin has a dash. Kodo does not. But Kodo does have the kata dash, so they can both get out of there potentially here. But will they? Do they try to trade? Who tries to trade? Who stays? Who leaves? That's the big question here for turn 14.
Well, Horrifier dashes out, as does our Titus. Murdoch taking the shot, they'll miss. Stoiker will probably not even attempt to go for it at this point. They expected that one. Everybody else is just full of running and grabbing power-ups as we get into this next turn.
Carowin with the Grapefruits of Steel, man, just stands there, doesn't even attack, just runs, does a double move away, anticipating Kodo getting out of there and not killing him. That was pretty crazy. I don't think I would have had the guts to do that, but we're going to see what happens next. The two frontliners are in trouble.
And we'll find out. Strange Mango alone in the center, but he certainly has the shields for it. Horrifier around the back. Going to continue to throw that drone in for a little extra damage. And Arctic, of course, coordinating these firepowers and supports, doing great focus fire. Kodo's going to start healing back up and sticking around the outside of the fight. The question is, will they be able to survive, as both teams have completely separated to opposite sides of the map?
All right, both frontliners still extremely low in HP, but both now have their dashes available. Do they use them, or do they stay and fight? Now, Carowin is pretty safe over here, but Kodo, probably not. He's got Strange Mango with eyes on him for sure, so we're going to have to see what's going on here. But a big heal going to save him.
Let's make you more attractive.
All right, so Black Hole comes out in preparation for next turn. That means Karen's saving that dash to get into the fight. Shots from Murdoch going to find clear hits on Aurora on the other side, as Stoiker takes some bombs to prevent anybody from advancing to the center in cover. Nobody was brave enough to take those positions, but on the other side, Murdoch and Strange Mango being very brave.
When they're both near full health, they both say, please come out and play. Murdoch with that Blackburn mighted up now. Strange Mango backing him up with shields and all that good stuff. Is going to be dangerous here for Voltaic to stand and fight here. They've got a Grimo in the back line. They got to position perfectly if they want to hang on to that lead coming into the end of the game.
Watch your back.
Arctic's going invisible and is going to try and find good shots from the back. Kodo throwing that long distance dagger, and it looks like just a little bit of unstoppable from Darkrow coming out, as they're going to take some damage as well as shields, but the weaken will mean they won't take too much this turn. Arctic able to pop the dagger as well as slow Murdoch. They're going to be in a bad position. So the next turn, they do have dash available. Darkrow is going to try and go around the back, see if they can't get safe, as Stoiker tries to bomb them out into the center, but Unstoppable Paralyzer means they can go where they want and are completely safe. And look at this lineup in the center.
Wow, it's time for AoEs if you got them. You know, if you got them, use them. If you know, this is the time to do it. Basically, what just happened was Oralgami no Jitsu expected Darkrow to be in a position where he did not want to be, but of course the Unstoppable mod saved him there, got him behind the wall, and now they're the ones out of position.
So important to pick those mods correctly for the opposing team, as we saw there. Looks like a lot of ultimates and might coming out available. Carowin, they're just going to throw even more shields on as it's getting close to the end of the game. He's going to dash into the bush, find Arctic Monkey. That's going to do significant damage. Unfortunately, Stoiker not able to find the shot, though Darkrow does take a little damage, heals all of it back right off with the ultimate and a 3-person hit. Horrifier able to also get 3 people with Rio, but Carowin's, man, just diving in and also doing the Helio damage, bringing Arctic Monkey really low, still will be stealthed. Murdoch not able to find anybody there. Arctic Monkey going back to complete safety, but now it's Kodo who's out visible to the enemy team.
Yeah, but he's above half health again. Darkrow, I really like that Aurora ultimate. He didn't heal anyone but himself on his own team, but he got a 3-man ult for the enemy side, 24 damage on 3 members of the enemy team. That's nothing to sneeze at turn 18 in the game when you're hanging on to that lead by a thread.
Barrier built.
Mango going to go ahead and throw out shields on Stoica, meaning they're probably taking a risky maneuver coming up as Kodo weakens just Asana near him. Stoica's going to dive right in, and we're going to see the splort, I'm assuming, as Carowin roots Kodo in place. Strange Mango has found their target as they dive onto Kodo, but look at this big two-person ultimate. Strange Mango took a lot of damage. Dark Rose able to hit 2 people with the Ion Field. Kodo able to hit 2 people with the Giant Slash. There comes the splort out of Stoica, but since Kodo is rooted, they won't run over anything. Rio does damage to Strange Mango and Horrifier from the back, 34, 1 extra damage. Able to find the kill for a 4-2, but the big ultimate coming out. 4-3, evening up. Murdoch able to find 2 people with that, bringing Dark Crow super low in a 4-3 game with 3 people below 30 health.
Oralgami no Jitsu saw Kodo walk out of there, did not have dash, did not have catalyst. They said, just pile on the damage, focus fire this guy, but they ended up taking the brunt of it. But 2 big, the big Blackburn ult comes in and saves the day for their team.
Karen trying to find the slice, won't get anything there. Kodo is going to take the shot on Karen, who has no defenses available. Karen's going to go down. That's going to be the 5th kill. I'll be able to find 2 here. Noah Stoker just able to bomb. They've got Horrifier around the back, throwing Rio in on the cage. Murdoch does find the final kill for their side, taking down Titus, but too little too late as Voltaic takes a 5-4 victory in a back and forth, super close game.
What is showing by Oralgami no Jitsu here, taking on Voltaic Gaming, one of the best, in a lot of our opinions, in the Season 2 spread here. So, I mean, hats off to them in game number 1. They did fantastic. They started off with first blood. They had a lead for a short time. They just got overtaken by Voltaic. I think their team synergy took that one home for them in the end. But looking at the numbers here, wow, Kodo on Titus getting over 500 damage on that frontliner. Also 500 received and only dying once. That's pretty impressive, though.
And the other team had good focus. You notice that Oralgami able to take down Nyx twice. That might be something they're going to look for this next game. They're going to try and protect their firepowers a little bit better over on the Voltaic side so they don't have the 2 deaths on the back firepowers. Although support Darkrow able to definitely keep themselves alive. It was a big boon that game, able to constantly heal and prevent that final death.
I mean, each freelancer for each team that didn't have a built-in escape, aside from that Katadash, both died twice that match. So that's going to be something they're going to have to keep in mind for game number 2 in round 1. But I want to point out here, Strange Mango on Helio took 647 damage. He did die twice. Well, let's see. He's got, what, 150 HP maybe? Something like that. 160 perhaps at most. That's more than 4 times his health bar. And he only died twice. So I think that's fairly impressive.
Yeah, definitely good work from both teams. A very exciting game. I'm hoping to see another one just like it. And this kind of puts a notice out to the other teams. Oralgami is here to play, taking Voltaic to a very close Game 1, Voltaic managing to eke out the win, but we're going to see Game 2. They've got a solid chance to take this if they continue to focus that back line, and maybe instead of focusing the firepower so much, if they're able to take down that support once early, they will have an easier time finding that last kill, which was just, 12 health away from dying to bring this into overtime?
Yeah, it was super close. It was super close. So, I mean, it just came down to bad timing in the end, really, for Oralgami. As soon as Kodo on Titus had his ultimate for that last hurrah, before he died, they were like, I think he had like 2 HP that he survived with. So if they would have taken him out, they wouldn't have lost to Sonnet that last round, and they may have been able to win that match. So very interesting turn of events toward the end there, for sure.
Absolutely. So we're going to get them ready and up for this next game soon. They're going to be creating a game and going. So we did see that Flyway Freighter out. So now it would be Voltaic's turn to choose. And I don't think that they return to Flyway. I don't think that you do that on this map when you see the other team can play very well on it, even though they took a lot of risks in the center. Oralgami has shown us they're willing to go out into the open if they think that they can deal more damage than they can take. So you're going to want that open center I'm saying, definitely a good case for Cloudspire here to be able to, hey, if this team wants to group up, let's give them a map to group up and to put themselves out in the open on. And then let's take them down from there. Solid choice. Of course, Flyway is always another choice. And Evos, we haven't seen these teams match up on against. We don't know how their strategy is going to work and if it's going to change, if they have map-specific strategies or not. Hopefully that'll be something we find out in these post-game interviews that will come up after this next match.
One thing that I liked, and I know we're focusing on the brand new team here, Oralgami no Jitsu, but that's kind of the reason, is they are the brand new team. We've seen Voltaic. We know they've got the stuff to make it happen. We don't know anything about these other guys, so that's my focus right now. So I do apologize for the Voltaic fans, but I'm focusing on their opponent right for a moment again. What I liked, and this is a criticism that we've sent out. I know one of us have criticized other teams for waiting until it was too late before they got aggressive, or maybe not even getting aggressive at all when they needed to come back and try to push for that win from behind. We saw none of that from Oralgami no Jitsu this game. As soon as they, you notice they pushed up toward the mid, right around turn 15, 16, and they just kept pushing and pushing and pushing forward, trying to get that damage out, trying to come back, and that's what I like to see. So I like everything that I saw out of them. Even though they did take down the loss, I like the way that they played that game.
I do as well. I think that they played it very well, and this is a strategy we've seen a lot of successful teams have, is they're able to absorb that first loss but come back with the strength of holding on to some of their stronger abilities, making advantageous trades earlier, not relying on the catalyst, the once per games, to be able to come back to a strong second. That's what we saw Voltaic here, really maturing as a team, able to adapt one of those strategies. We've seen some of the very top tier, I think Trash really was the starting example from it, but a lot of top tier teams have adapted it and showing that they can play that style now. Origami, they did come out strong, but we're going to have to see if they can play this later game as well as Voltaic, really, as you mentioned, able to stick in there, able to do some really good things as they brought the game along.
Yeah, like you said, Trash kind of epitomizes taking that first game as kind of a learning experience, a feeling out phase, and then game number 2, they just, boom, destroy the other team most of the time. It's almost uncanny how they get it done that way. But like you said here, Voltaic did fall behind right away. They got 2 kills on him early on. And I kept pointing out, Origami's hit point bars are super low, even though they have that 2-point lead. Voltaic is going to start respawning here, and they're going to be full health again, and it's going to look bad for Origami pretty soon. And that's pretty much what we saw. Voltaic regrouped themselves, got themselves recomposed. If they ever did lose composure, we don't even know. Maybe they stayed composed the whole time. Good on them. But they came back, they got that 3-2 lead, they got that 4-3 lead, they held on to with that trade, and they finished it off with that 5-3. Was it 5-3, wasn't it?
5-4 in the end, actually.
All right, Titus did die.
Titus went down that final turn at the very end of it. So close as can be, but unfortunately, it was a 5-4 victory as we get ready for this next one. Now, something I'd like to see is, of course, Celeste is super important on Flyway because buffs are so far apart and there's so many of them. But if they can take away this Gray, who was a big thorn in the side the entire match, that Rio and these long-distance shots were doing some great work. If they could take away that Gray by maybe picking a map that isn't so Celeste reliant. I know it's tough, Celeste is great on every map, but they might have another chance there. We're going to have to go ahead and give them a second to set this up with more supports, or more, what is it? Spectator
slots.
There we go.
I was just asking for that for sure.
Yep, so we'll have a minute here before this game starts, but we'll get you guys in as soon as possible. We'll get them started in this draft phase, and we'll see how they're going to do. I'm hoping the Not 100 team turns out to have just as exciting matches as this, although I'm glad Voltaic is finding the points they need to stay up in the upper brackets. If you guys don't know, we've been posting to the Discord as well as you can watch from the seasons. there's been a lot of point accumulation over these past weeks, a little jockeying of position, and there's a lot of teams in that 9-point and up range that pretty much think they're going to qualify for the final tournament. And at this point, if you don't have at least 9 points, you have to really think long and hard about how you're going to get into the tournament. Now, both of these teams coming in, I believe, had 11, Voltaic had 11 points coming in. So up near the top, but could easily lose out to a sweep either side. And it's so important to get 2 wins versus 1 win.
Well, another thing I wanted to point out, you just basically hit the nail on the head vicariously, because as much as we want to see these brand new teams here, not 100, Oralgami no Jitsu, we want to see them do well. We don't want them to just get destroyed and not come back for season 3. But at the same time, if the teams at the top of the bracket, such as Voltaic Gaming, such as Outplayed that we're going to see in round 2 versus Oralgami, and versus round 3 Outplayed versus Not 100 here on the Twitch stream, if they're dropping games to these brand new teams that have almost no chance of making it into the tournament at this point, they're basically throwing themselves out the window with them. So they have to make sure to take these games, man, because it's super important.
All right, so looks like we are up and the teams are pretty much ready. We'll get you guys. I think we ironed out exactly what was happening with the draft, so we'll be able to watch the entire draft from start to finish this time. I know you guys are excited for that. Always one of the most fun parts is to see how these high-level teams react going back and forth in this pick ban phase and really understanding the freelancers, their relationship to the maps, and to the other freelancers.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of I would love to see Oralgami take a game. Like I said, I always want to root for the underdog. I always want to see the new team get that confidence booster for if nothing else, to keep them wanting to come back and play next week. But at the same time, I don't want to see Voltaic drop a game to these guys, just because Voltaic's in such a good position to get into that tournament with a really good seed, and that is all important going in there. And we are seeing the draft page. You seen this restart?
Absolutely. We're up and we're rolling here with this draft.
Oh, yeah. We are going to see Flyway Freighter once again. So they like the way that played out, looks like, from Voltaic's side.
Yeah, it looks like that they will be playing Flyway again. They liked, hey, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. I think that they're going to probably try and get the same, at least, firepowers going on. We'll see if they are able to get that going.
Well, Lockwood and Celeste both banned away. I think that was the first bans as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then Gray picked up right off the bat by Voltaic, sticking with their mascot. Love to get that Voltaic cage in there.
So definitely they love that Gray. Again, I said that's one of the things the other team might have wanted to focus on here, but they're going to let that Gray slip through. The question is, do they also let the Nyx go through as well? I think that Voltaic's pretty comfortable with either of the frontliners they really prefer in this situation. So Origami is going to pick up that Nyx. They are going to break up the combo of the long-range damage coming out from the enemy team here.
Yeah, but again, they do so picking it into Gray, who can reveal if she's got line of sight on Nyx. If you time it right and you hold down the Alt key, you can see the cooldowns. You can see that he has invisibility available. And most likely Nyx is going to want to use that whenever he can to get a really good shot off on somebody. So that's always the best time to throw out those little tracker darts. But if you don't see him when he does that, you can't do it. We'll have to see with the positioning of the Origami Nyx player.
Yeah, that will come into huge play here. Looks like Voltaic says, okay, we're going to take Gremolitions on this one. Also a favorite. And with Voltaic playing somewhat classic strategies a lot, you might see them move towards the tunnel side of this map to take use of. They have now the favorite trap teams in terms of they can block off the tunnel with both Rio drones, with Gremo mines. They have a very strong game over on a side where you can shoot over walls, because they have a lot of abilities that do not care about walls right now. And so with that, I wouldn't be surprised to see them. Or I know Origami has the next pick, but I think Voltaic is hoping Asana. There, Origami took Asana. Asana would have been the perfect addition to Voltaic's side, and Origami knows that, picks that up right off the bat, in addition to just liking her because she's strong. So Voltaic responds with a quick Aurora Mask. We're going to get in your face. We're going to heal Rask up so he can go ahead and get his cooldowns reset. And now it's back to Origami. How do we respond to this? Because now they have a lot of movement effects, and they don't have Aurora to be able to paralyze their team against all these Gremlicious Rasks. What do you do here?
I don't know, but one thing I just noticed is Voltaic's top 3 picks is Nyx, Asana, and Aurora. So they got one of the 3 that they like the most. They're comfort picks, if you will. But they lost the other 2 to Origami. Now, if I were Origami, I need another firepower. Lockwood's gone, Celeste is gone, Gray is gone. I'm probably going to go with something like a Zuki or a Blackburn here. Most likely, and if they want to just go crazy, they pull out the Pup and just go hunt people down.
Pup's not an awful choice versus Gray in this situation, even though she does have the stealth reveal. By the time he is ready to attack you, then the stealth doesn't matter. He doesn't use it to get out, he uses it to get in. But that would be very rough versus the Gremlicious, who can leave a trail of mines to trail Gray so Blackbone is being picked out. Pup not favored against Gremlicious, but he can just say, "You're following me? Great. Keep on coming."
Yeah, we don't see the Orion yet. We see him in there. Carowin has to change it up here. There's the Asana, but I'm looking for that Orion. I really am. I really want to see it. I like the character. I know a lot of people think he's really weak right now and he just doesn't fit the meta game. Whatever the case may be, I really think he's very resilient. More resilient than I thought he would be. I think that's the best way to phrase that. When I heard them talking about it on the Trown World stream before he got released.
Well, I'm almost thinking they might be saving him. No team might want to put it in the main strategy, but if they're forced into a 2 support strategy, then he is a great second support to pull out as a little pocket picker. We've got this in here if you force us into that. Of course, single target can be focused down pretty hard, but if you've got somebody else to help him out, he becomes nigh unkillable. Has pretty much the biggest single target heal in the game. Can get up to 50 healing over 2 turns for just one ability in terms of his heal if modded correctly. So super strong if he can get the support to survive.
You can even do, what is it? You should be able to do 70 over the course of 2 turns if you mod it properly. If you mod it perfectly
to a single target is 50, and then there's 20 that goes back on you.
Well, no. I mean, with his, what is it called? My goodness. The one, the AoE thing he puts on somebody else and pops if they take damage. Whatever that one is, there's a mod for that where if you use... it's a mod for the heal. If you use that ability plus the heal on the same target, they get 10 additional healing. So I think it's actually 35 and 35 at that point. I haven't tested it, but that's my theory anyway. And I'm sticking to it.
I think the base is going to be 20 at full shard, so it's... And that doesn't apply to second turn, but we'll check it as we go into this next set of games. Be sure to, guys, visit prepphase.com, and if you ever have any questions, all your stats, all your awesome stuff will be up there as well, so you can go ahead and check out all these abilities, the mods, and guides for each character at prepphase.
That's right, and Horrifier wants to think that I would not notice this, but he had the wrong banner icon last game that didn't match his team. Now he's back on track, so good job for him.
All right, so now the teams are on the different sides. We'll go ahead and get that up for you. We do have Voltaic Gaming as our red team and Oralgami no Jitsu as our blue team this game. So let's go ahead and put that up as these teams select which way they want to go.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing where these guys are going to go this time. They slammed into each other like Mack trucks last game right away. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case this time, but the Grimo off on his own, playing a little 007 mode over there.
Yeah, they did elect for the 3-in-1 split, which isn't so uncommon, especially if they have the extra range jump on Gremlins. That makes them a lot safer. We'll see if they do pick that up. They do indeed have the extra range, so not that uncommon on Gremlins. And while they often send the full team to support here, they can just send Gremlins alone to block off the tunnel and retreat if needed. That seems to be the strategy they're going for right now. So Mine's coming out. Dorkro throwing a set of heals. They're going to go ahead and get Arctic and Kodo in. Build up some good energy off at the start. Arctic's trying to find the enemy team. They did a full rotation to the wrong side, and Horfire wisely backs off, knowing they don't want to find the enemy team with their sight. They want to find them with mines. And with Kodo full on the enemy side, they think they have a good idea of where the enemy team is.
Yeah, Horfire basically did the right thing there. If he would have stepped forward, they would have seen him going anywhere where he wanted to go, where he went. And that would have been lights out for him. He would have had to burn his dash right off the bat, and that would have been bad news. So good job to pop behind that wall.
Now team's going to get a little closer. There is going to be sight coming out this following turn as Mines got to the middle of the map. Random shots go off just to confirm nobody's in any bushes. But nope, nobody close enough to find any damage. A taunt comes out. Does S2W4 have the shot? No, they thought they knew exactly where Horfire went, and no. So the taunt missed. A little laughing going out in the chat. They did see where Horfire went. They do have a last... No, they don't have a last known on Horfire. Excuse me.
That's the best kind of taunt, especially if you're Lockwood and you taunt the basic attack. Prepare to be impressed. It becomes prepare to be depressed at that point. And that's my favorite taunt, is when they completely whiff, for sure. So we got to see where's this black hole going to go for Carowin over on Asana. Had that for a while, and over there with Helio hanging out in the middle of the map.
They're going to throw that... Oh, they're going to throw a shield on Kara and then dash through the wall. I'm not sure what they expected to catch here as Karen dives completely to the other side of the map. Horfire does get some mines down in the middle. Arctic Monkey gets the shot. The shield was worth it as Karen takes no actual damage. Flips Arctic Monkey over the top just for a little bit of damage, but really nothing big coming down except now the teams are engaged.
What Strange Mango was hoping to happen actually happened during the movement phase, but he thought it was going to be in the dash phase where Kodo on Rask was going to dash to him through that wall there. I'm pretty sure that's what he was going for. Kodo actually just ran through it, so he's over there by himself. Sad little rage cat. He can't do anything. He can just swipe and smash the ground perhaps. That's about it.
All right, shields coming down for both Karen and Arctic Monkey as they are pretty much touching. Mango's going to give a little bit more shielding to Karen. Weaken going down on both of those in the center of the map. Horfire bouncing through the center will hurt themselves on Karen's shield. Darkcrow also doing the same thing, throwing down that Ion Clown. Murdoch not going to find the shot thanks to the bounces from Horfire. Stoker in the back takes a shot on Kodo, building that Rage Cat energy. A double root coming down in the center. They're going to keep Arctic there and Darkcrow. As Arctic actually turns around and takes a shot on Mango, not bothering to get through the shields of Karen. Mango's going to go ahead and double hit both Arctic and Darkcrow. But they do get decent damage on Mango, although Raz just runs around in the back trying to find the enemy Blackburn.
Rask is just wandering aimlessly. Hulk goes where Hulk wants to go, basically. Now, here's how important these health pickups are. Horfire dashed over here to this one. Murdoch ran over to here to get this other one. And Darkcrow was going to walk over here, but he got rooted in place. The only one that didn't go for one that was next to it was Stoker on Nyx all the way on the other side. All 4 health pickups could have been picked up that turn.
Arctic Monkey dashing out of the way wisely as Murdoch throws their shot in. Looks like Strange Mango expecting the dash, won't find it. Karen gonna get hit twice by Darkcrow thanks to that Ion Cloud. Taking some decent damage now that all these shields are down. Horfire even contributed into that one. Koda's gonna throw Murdoch into the open, almost forcing out that dash next turn.
Yeah, Murdoch's gonna definitely want to dash out of the way here. But if you're outside of cover, that's not where you want to be at all as a firepower freelancer, especially when you know people are all around you. So he's surrounded. Got to get out of there. Got to dash. Picked up the health, but got thrown. Not where you want to be. Stoker in a kind of a bad position as well, but he does have a nice shot on the support.
Murdoch's going to stim up, see what they can do this turn as Kodo tries to dash in, but Murdoch dashes away. Might find a good shot here. The shot from Strange Mango not able to find anybody. Arctic Monkey's Riho doing damage on Karen, who is taking consistent damage. They get the long-range shot on Stoker. They will be revealed. Although stealth isn't up yet this turn, a slow on Darko means they won't be able to get into position. And the stimmed Murdoch able to put even more on Arctic Monkey. Arctic Monkey going very low. Horrifier's Mind's not finding anything. But Arctic's in a lot of trouble here.
Well, so is Stoker's Nyx. I mean, Arctic Monkey on Great in a lot of trouble. Does have the Kata. Both of them do. Kata dash. Gray already used her regular dash. But Stoker cannot go invisible this turn. They're going to see where he goes. He's going to be tracked even after he uses that ability. So I'm not sure what he's thinking there. Might not understand how that mechanic works. But Arctic Monkey going to get some help at least.
Shields up.
Strange Mango throwing some shields on Stoker. It might just be, it looks like that is a haste. We'll find out. As Karen does take a shot on Arctic Monkey. Arctic Monkey going to keep that Nyx revealed for the following turns as Nyx takes a shot onto Darkrow. And everybody's just plinking away at health, but there's not enough focus to take anybody down yet as Kodo takes a double hit on people nearby who are close to full health. Horrifier, same thing, plinking down on Carowin. The knockback from Arctic Monkey wisely coordinated with the mines. Cooldown in Brain Juice happening on Stoker. Let's go ahead and check. It is the Haste Stalker suit, so still a reason to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was actually a good play because he wouldn't have made it to that energy buff had he not done that. Even though he was tracked, even though they were going to see exactly where he's going to go, he now has his ultimate. He's in a pretty fairly decent spot. He's got Murdoch there with him to help. That's two strong firepowers you don't really want to walk headlong into.
Turtle Tech's coming out from Darkrow and Kodo this turn. It looks like they're going to throw that giant Strange Mango ultimate over in the center on Blackburn as they Catadash over on top of Arctic Monkey. They're going to root them in place. Arctic Monkey trying to get the cage down. Looks like Darkrow will find Stoker, and they're just going to focus down this Nyx as best as they can. Murdoch, though, taking shots, and with the Helio Shield, will bring Kodo extremely low. Horrifier's taking the bomb shots, trying to predict where Mango is going to go. Kodo takes the swipes. Again, just 20 little damage. Not much going on there. Karen's going to flip Arctic Monkey over out into an easy spot to hit. Strange Mango running through the cage. Will take damage there, but be relatively safe.
Yeah, now Nyx is in some serious trouble. Looking at a Rask. Rask is almost dead, but he is as well. They both have about the same amount of health. They both have their ultimates, but Rask is a little bit more dangerous than a Nyx with his ult up, because Rask, if he lives here, he's going to have all his cooldowns back. Nyx can't kill him alone. He's going to have help to do it.
So Kodo goes ahead and starts that healing, knowing the cooldown will come right back up. Arctic Monkey just trying to avoid damage, and looks like Catalyst coming out as Kodo tries to do damage on the other side while avoiding damage, but Nyx had Catalyst out of the way as well. Rio and Arctic Monkey both comboing on Strange Mango, who tries to hit Arctic Monkey. Karen's going to bring them down to a very low 6, and Darkrow is going to heal them back up while bringing Strange Mango extremely low. Murdoch not able to find the shot on Kodo because of the Catalyst. Here comes Horrifier shooting a knockback on the other side of Strange Mango. Will kill him and knock him back through the wall. That's going to be the first death of the game as he activates Brain Juice.
Yeah, halfway through the match, very well done for both teams to survive this long. It's been a slugfest so far. Really loving the action here. I mean, even though it's been a low kill count, a lot of action going on all over the place. Now Stoker knows exactly where Kodo is. Kodo has no idea where the Nyx is. Does Nyx have this big time? Yep, he does the 10 extra damage with enemies below 50% HP, so he may actually be able to kill Kodo. Never mind. He's Rask, I forgot.
Kodo diving in with no might. He won't be able to get this kill, although with might he would have been very close. Karen is going to root Arctic Monkey in place, even though it gives cover so that they're able to find a better shot next turn. A little bit of healing coming down, not much. Stoker takes the 60 damage shot right through Rast, negating pretty much most of that healing coming down as Darkrow takes a grenade to the face. Horrifier just continuing to put out bombs to trap out the enemy team when they try and chase down Arctic Monkey. Darkrow coming in to support even more.
No one better at
Here's a little mistake Kodo made there, though. He already had a heal coming that round for 15. Okay? Why did he use the heal again? It just didn't really do anything. Or do they stack? That's the question I have for you. Do they stack? Like, did he get healed at the beginning? Did he heal himself again for 15 later when he uses the ability? I don't know. But I see Ras do that a lot, and I always wonder why.
Well, heals from different abilities stack. I do believe that multiple of his heal stack, but we'll find out. He might have just used it to get the first one down as damage comes down from Rio. It looks like that Kodo will manage to heal just barely back up despite the big hit from Stoker, so does get that double healing. Horrifier gonna go ahead and do the mines around the outside. Horrifier taking shots, but again, not in range, is hoping people walk over these mines as everybody else continues to chase people into bushes around the center of this ring over near Murdoch and Darkcrow.
Kodo is successfully surviving the Nyx one-on-one there, but barely. He barely got out of there alive, and he may still yet go down here if Nyx has a shot. I don't think he's going to take it, though. He's a little bit far away. I think a Brainiac in chat is probably going to give us the answer for the Ras kill thing.
Yeah, I mean, last turn he did heal up more than the shot that he took. As it looks like Strange Mango is going to go ahead and throw out some shields, take some for himself on Stoker. They're going to just try and shield up in the corner. Karen is going to go ahead and take a double swipe. Darkcrow putting the Ironclad down on top of Murdoch as Horrifier tries to just find somebody, but continuously out of range this map, not able to put down the damage that they want to be able to do.
Your attacks do not.
All right, now if you're Oralgami no Jitsu, you have a problem. You have Horrifier on Grimolitions who just picked up a Might buff with his ultimate. He can use it this turn, he could use it next turn. When is it going to happen? You got Murdoch as well on Blackburn with his ultimate. You got Carowin with Asana's ultimate over there. You do have a Nyx. Oh, he already used his ult on Ras, so we have 3 ults from their team that can just go ballistic here.
And indeed, Karen's going to dash over to the other side. Murdoch's going to throw up the shield. Strange Mango's going to increase it even more. Man, they love stacking the shielding, as also putting out that wall to prevent any chasing from going on. Karen, though, jumps directly over it. Going to put damage right onto Arctic Monkey in the back, going very low. Darkcrow finding a double shot, but Murdoch says, I'll do you one better, and unfortunately not able to find the double themselves. Does find some good damage in a line around the back. Horrifier taking these shots, finally able to get some direct hits, as well as mines down. Rio bringing Keratin down almost as low as they brought Arctic Monkey.
That was the first major mistake that I've seen Oralgami no Jitsu make, really. Aside from a few positioning errors, was Murdoch could have killed Arctic Monkey there with the help of Carowin's ult. His ult placed differently on the map would have taken that gray out. So a little bit frustrating on their part probably to see that happen, but hey, live and learn.
Now grouped up in front of Horrifier, this has to be a concern for them as Arctic Monkey goes ahead and weakens both Karen and Stoker. Looks like the black hole thrown on Stoker for just a little bit of extra shielding. Arctic Monkey's going to throw down that Rio for a big 4-person hit, as well as the reposition. Unfortunately, the grenade thrown over the top combined with Nyx will take out Arctic Monkey. The question is, can they do the return damage they need?
More!
3,
More!
4.
Okay!
Looks like they're going to find out as Horrifier fires a big shot. 58, 68, 48. So much damage. Takes down the Nyx. Karen down to just 4 health, but barely hanging on. However, they are chasing him down, and now Horrifier is in the middle of the enemy team. Has all his escapes up, though.
Grimolations with Might and his ultimate is so terrifying, and you just saw why. They clustered up, and that was their final mistake. It looks like, I mean, Carowin's got to get out of here. Does he have the heal mod on his basic? Yeah, he does. So he's going to heal for 5 here, get up to 10, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, he gets out anyway.
So he does jump out, doing the final bit of damage to Karen. Karen will die after their swipe. Darkcrow able to throw a little bit more damage in around the back. And trying to steal that health buff, Murdoch a little bit closer. No, Darkcrow did manage to steal that health buff because they were 1 square closer. So Murdoch not able to get the health. Nice steal by Darkcrow.
Very brave on Darkcrow Pinoy's part on that Aurora, that squishy support, running in there just to get that health thing. Does have the catalyst still. We're on turn 17, so you can be a little bit more aggressive now that the game's winding to a close. And you have that big 3-1 lead.
Alright, shots coming down around the back. Murdoch's going to shoot on Darkcrow. They're going to follow up with Strange Mango. They're really punishing Darkcrow for stealing this health. They throw out the Iron Cloud just to hope the enemy team runs through it and push Mango to make sure that he stays through it. We'll see if Murdoch takes that move. No, Murdoch's happy where they are.
3 turns remaining.
Dark Crow knew the throw was coming, ducked behind the wall there. So neither Blackburn nor Helio can really do damage to him this turn. That was an excellent move for their team. So Voltaic showing their team synergy there. Kodo moving in for the kill now. Turn 18. Man, Oralgami has to do something, and they've got to do it quick.
Barrier built.
Heals coming down, or shields coming down from Helio again as Nyx tries to invisibly run into the open, making sure that they can get a shot. Nice weaken and unstoppable coming down for the big hit there. Kodo taking a lot of damage from Murdoch, but the Ion Field pulsing will do the same to Mango. The cells coming down. Where exactly will they go? It's going to go right on top of the Ion Field, slightly offset. Looks like Stoker, with that haste, was also able to take the shot on Dark Crow and still move into a good spot. So Dark Crow slowed, won't be able to get where they wanted to, but Unstoppable means that they can.
2 turns left.
It would have been great if Dark Crow took the mod on the Ion Cloud that would then make it a 3-turn Ion Cloud because of that Voltaic Cage. Locking Strange Mango in there, that would have been the end of him for sure. He has no shields or anything like that. Left only a Catadash to survive here. He's got to get out. He has to at this point. But are they going to predict it? That's the big question.
And Murdoch's going to try his best, is stimming up for a little bit of healing. And some mites are going to do major damage. Kodo dashing out of the way here, right on top of where Strange Mango dashes to. That's going to be unfortunate as Horfire tries to just wall off the rest of the tunnel. Looks like they're just going to take the shots on Darko to see if they can take him down, but this ultimate will heal Darko right back up, in addition to also hitting Helio in the corner. They're going to go ahead and hit Blackburn as well, and looks like Kodo doesn't even need to go ahead and use that ultimate of his, because that's the game.
That is game 5-1 in favor of Voltaic. Game at that time much more dominating, but it took him a while to get rolling, it seemed like. But in the end, the veteran team, I call them a veteran team, they've only been playing for 3 weeks now, but they are veterans over Oralgami at least. Taken in the end, and in very convincing fashion, they closed it out rather well. I liked the way they got super aggressive when they had the lead there, especially with Dark Crow moving in. They knew they had a kill they could throw away if they had to, just to secure a couple more.
Yeah, so solid play. Voltaic adapting to the situation, realizing, okay, this is how this opposing team plays. And while the aggressive strategies of Oralgami paid off in the beginning when Voltaic wasn't prepared for them, as soon as they saw that, they took great advantage of it the second game. You saw that they saved that Gremolition ultimate. They saved that Gray ultimate because they knew Oralgami, when they were hurting for kills, was going to group up and run in together. And, I mean, 3 people next to each other with a Mighted Gremolition ultimate. Gray Cage is always hitting 2 people. The grouping up of Oralgami when they tried to rush in and force the enemy team to do something was really their downfall this time. So,
yeah, I'm going to let you take it from here, restart for just a moment. I'm going to try to line up that lovely interview that we all love for us here. We'll see if we can get somebody from Voltaic to join us for just a moment.
Yeah, so we're going to get a player from Voltaic in because they had such an improved second game. They're going to go ahead and get somebody in. We can take a look a little more at these stats before we get kicked out, as we see multiple members with almost 450 damage. Even the support putting out 400 damage shows you just how ahead they were that game. In that 5-1 victory, they were able to predict the enemy team, only losing 1 team member. Again, Oralgami really focusing on the back line. Voltaic able to wisely back off, deal with this aggression, keep people out of the way. And, I mean, you saw some very good uses of Unstoppable last game, especially to be able to counteract some of the crowd control that the enemy team was using. And this game as well, to just be able to let people walk away from slows, walk away from roots. And there was a little bit too much all-in from Oralgami against that. A little bit too much, we're going to take risk because we think we know what's going to happen. Voltaic able to outplay that. Hopefully Oralgami can learn from that in the future, especially as they're going to be playing next round as well. We're going to not see Voltaic again on Twitch today. They will be in other matches, but we will see Oralgami come right back to play another top team with even more points. They're going to come back versus Outplayed. But let's focus on Voltaic right now, because we're going to get somebody in for an interview pretty shortly.
Absolutely. And while we're waiting on that, I wanted to point out, man, that turning point was right in the middle of the game. We noticed that looks like we're going to get Dark Crow in here as well. So let me go ahead and drag him in. I'll just stop talking for a moment.
Yeah, looks like we're going to get Dark Crow. Fantastic. Some great questions to ask on Dark Crow, especially about that support play we saw, not dying either time and putting out 400 damage. There's got to be something that we can learn from this one, as that is some excellent supporting numbers. And those primary attacks as well, if we do get Dark Crow, we'll be able to ask about. But it seems like Dark Crow's here, so we're going to welcome them to the stream. How you doing, Dark Crow?
I'm doing good. How about yourselves?
Fantastic.
Doing great.
Doing awesome.
All right, so
that's what I learned a long time ago. Every time somebody asks you that, no matter what your mood is, you say, doing great. And that's all you got to say. All right, I'll let Reese start asking some questions, my man.
Go for it.
All right, so we saw 2 games with no deaths on your side where they were really focusing in the back, the rear line of your team. They managed to get 2 kills on Nyx, game 1, and 1 kill on Gray. Second game, the only kill they picked up was on Gray. Do you think that you just weren't feeling the focus that they had on the firepowers, or was your team able to save you, or was this purely a positioning thing? How did you manage to live so long, both games when the support's usually the focus?
I think it's a positioning thing. The first one, the reason Gray and Nyx died there is because they kind of went out in the open. We didn't expect them to just kind of charge there. I think Lothan's talked about it a little bit, that they were a little bit aggressive. So we kind of applied that for the second game because we feel like they kind of cluster a little bit more. So I think that's why we went for a Grem instead of... Because we were thinking either we'll go with Zuki or we'll go with Grem. But because they picked Flyway,
All
Grem
right.
is a little bit of a better pick. Yeah.
That's
You break my heart not taking the Zuki.
I know,
Come on.
Lothan, I'm sorry, man.
But with that grouping, man, we were talking about that too, that we thought you picked Gremolitions, and specifically because of the grouping of the enemy team. So that did affect your picks and bans. Now, would you ever go outside of your like top 3 or 4 comfort picks because of a counter? Do you think it's more important to have a comfort pick or to have a counter pick?
For us, I feel like a comfort pick is better than a counter pick. Like, that's why we didn't really feel like we need to ban Helio. Because we could always get Aurora, you know what I mean, for the unstoppable.
Right.
And I feel like our firepowers, it puts them at a disadvantage if we force them to play something that they haven't really practiced that well. So that's why we'd rather go for a comfort pick, in my opinion. That's just me talking, of course.
Yeah, for sure. And I wanted to kind of back up just a little bit here, if you don't mind, Dark Crow.
Sure.
I know Restart touched on it a little bit. Game 1 was a little bit sketchy for a while. I mean, they had first blood on you. I think they had you at 2-0 until you started to have your resurgence as a team, man. It took it, 3-2, then 4-3, then 5-4. What did you guys talk about between game 1 and game 2 to kind of get your composure back and say, okay, we got to calm ourselves down? And how did you prepare for that game number 2?
I feel like for game 1, the guys got a little bit too comfortable. They think because it's a new team, it's a little bit... I can't say they're pushover, but I think they felt like it was an easier team, and compared to like if we're playing against teams that are already high scoring, like 2 OP or OP or trash. So I think that's part why we gave up such an early kill. And then the second part, I feel like when we talked about how they were playing, that's how we tried to play. So if you notice in the game 2, we were a little bit more spread out instead of grouping up, because if we just went grouping up against their team, I think we would have had a more difficult time just from Helio's Echo Hammer or Blackburn shots. So
okay.
Yeah, very good points all around for sure.
So one more question. Preparing up to this week, how are you guys able to practice? Is this mostly 4-man solo queues? Are you able to find these scrimmages, or are these secret meetings with whiteboards and complex equations. How are you guys able to prepare for these games each week?
Typically, because Arctic is actually, I think he's in Europe, if I remember correctly. I think he's in Portugal. So usually when everyone's on, we try to get some games in. We try to play other characters that we don't usually use. So you might, whenever you come across us, maybe we'll be using a Zuki or even an L once in a while. And then we try to set up scrims as well. Hellfire tries to do it for us, but it's been sketchy this week just because we had some IRL stuff to take care of. So sometimes there's only 3 of us on, or sometimes there's only 2. So it's kind of tough.
All right. Well, anything else, Lothens?
I would just give the floor to Dark Crow. Is there anything you want to say to the Twitch viewers watching at home, or any of your fans watching maybe? What do you want to say?
Nothing really. I'm a little flustered. So much question.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys will have a good couple weeks coming up, and if you guys are fans of that Voltaic gaming, don't forget to show them your love both in Discord and in the chats whenever they're playing, as they are really up there right now and vying for a pretty high seed in this final tournament. So thanks again, Darkro, for being with us, and we're going to get ready for this next game.
Thank you, guys. See you then.